You may think that you believe that a human being's value is not tied to their productivity, but I say you do still believe it. Hello, welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. I'm Sibylla, and today I'll tell you why you too believe that productivity equals value. Now, every decent human knows that a person's value isn't tied to what they contribute to their productivity. In fact, every country with a constitution has it as one of the first paragraphs that every human is equal in rights and in dignity. And we'll also all agree that people who can't or don't contribute are still as valuable. Think of small children or old people or people who are sick or disabled. So we all agree on that. And yet, you and I and everyone still on some level hold that belief that productivity in fact determines our value or equals value. Your mission today is to learn why this is so and what you can do about it. Task number 1 is unearthing the belief. Now, the thing with beliefs is that they are really hard to spot. They mask as the truth. And the other thing is, once you have a belief and once you say it out loud or read it, it's utterly ridiculous in most cases. And it's hard to identify with this and admit that this is really something that is a belief of yours, because you think, how can I be this stupid? The thing is, beliefs are subconscious and they're usually learned when you're too young to know any better. Or it's something that society as a whole kind of surrounds you with all your life, so you can't help but absorb the belief through osmosis, so to speak. And this particular belief is one of those. So, how can you know that you have this belief? I give you a couple of hints. If any of the following, like any of them, applies to you, at least at sometimes, then yes, you still hold that belief on some level. I've written it down, so I'm reading it out. Thinking that you'd be bored if you didn't have your job. Being unable to sit still or focus on anything unless the house is tidy and clean. Feeling guilty for taking breaks or taking time off. Spending work breaks at your desk. Or even working, writing emails or something. Feeling lazy for taking sick leave and or, again, personal time off, annual leave or the like. Being embarrassed to admit that you're taking it easy, especially to a person who is very busy at that time. Failing to rest at least 1 hour a day. And by rest, I mean without distractions, so without the TV, without social media, without Netflix and all these things. Wondering what you would do or feeling slightly guilty at the thought of taking an entire weekend off or an entire week off or an entire month off. Reacting with, but I have to work too, when you think about prioritizing your passion or hobby or interest. So any of these are a sign. Task number 2 is realize that this attitude is learned. Now, it's tempting to think that this is just what humans are like. We want to be useful and we tie our worth or our value to productivity. But it turns out it's not really human. It's a learned attitude. Newer historical research, like into the sociological history of work, for example, has shown that for the longest time in human history, we were what we would now call lazy. We valued idleness, not doing anything. Of course, we also worked hard, but not all the time. We had these periods of what we would now call laziness. And all that changed with the Industrial Revolution. I have written about this before, and I'm going to link the article in the description. Again, I've looked at all this research, and you don't have to. You can just read the summary in my article. So it's changed with the Industrial Revolution. And in order to get human beings to actually turn up on time every single day and work all these hours, day in, day out, considerable force was needed to force people into this, to literally beat them into it. There's accounts of unspeakable brutality, and all of it, and this was omnipresent wherever the Industrial Revolution happened, like 200 or 250 years ago, whenever it was in where you live. And that left us as human beings, that left us so traumatized collectively that this trauma has been passed on generation by generation, and this has also been proven that it's possible to pass on trauma, that you can inherit trauma, and we have all inherited this. But it's been going on for so long now, for so many generations, that we believe this is normal and this is how it's always been. Well, newsflash, it hasn't. It's not normal. It's very unhealthy for humans and it's killing us. So what can you do about it? You can unlearn it. That's the good news. What you should be aware of is that it's going to take some time. It's a process. I've been working on this for some time and I'm still not quite there, but I've gotten a lot better already. I warmly recommend getting coaching for this. Obviously, I specialize on this, but I can't coach everyone. Look for a coach who's qualified and you resonate with and you can work on these things. You could also, I would also highly and warmly recommend the book by Amelia and Emily Nagoski called Burnout. The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle, I think is it, but Burnout is the main title. I'll also link that book in the description because they have fantastic points and really have a way of putting it in a way that you understand it, why rest and how much rest is actually necessary and what's behind all this. And with time, you will notice a difference. You will notice a marked difference in your quality of life, in how you can accept and enjoy rest. And this brings a freedom with it that is well worth all the effort. And that brings me to task number 3, which is, as usual, let me know. Leave a comment below the video and tell me where you stand on this. Are you maybe a bit triggered by this video and say, no, I don't believe that at all? Or do you have to admit, yes, I do on some level still tie my value to my productivity? I'm not going to judge and I'll reply to every comment. If you would like some more, consider joining the community of Wild Spirits on wildspiritscoaching.com, where you'll fill in a little form and get 1 email per week. It's 100% spam free. You'll get additional articles and information and recommendations of books and other resources. And sometimes you get an exclusive offer that is only for subscribers that nobody else ever gets to see. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up, or you can Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to the website as well. Thank you for watching.